Alright guys, so I kind of wanted to do a video specifically about the support type unit. I want to say they are the backbone for a lot of teams out there. Just having at least one or two of these support type units, they are going to get you just miles and miles ahead in terms of the content you're looking at. So I kind of want to do a video dedicating kind of like the evolution of them, starting from like the very first support and kind of like the most recent support. I think what I want to hone into specifically is more the one that's buffering the damage, because we have all sorts of buffers or support type unit. We have we have fews that actually works alongside really well with like armor units, like our tanks. Like actually works really nice with armor units. Same thing as the engage zero income type. This one, like these two unit, works really well for the armor unit, but they're not something that we can always I guess test upon on, unless you're talking about arena or otherwise. But most people probably care about, oh, how can we do more damage? What are some ways to just raise that damage per second when we look at it in battle? That's like the thing we focus on. It's not that I don't want to highlight the other support units. They're also important, but I feel like the one that's going to get people the most attention to is the one that's actually just generally buffing the damage. We have revivers. We have supports that actually revive a down enemy depending on the color, like our good pal Phoenix NTD and Meptis. They actually buff their respective color, just general healing, and then for blue element and then for green elements they get additional perks as well, so they work like that. We have some that just actually increase the evasion for the allies and decrease the evasion for the enemy, so Dolphin Whip is that. But other than that, most of the other one are actually just buffing damage in some sort of fashion. So let's talk about our first one. We have Easy 8. So Easy 8 was kind of like the first one that was like pretty crack. It gives critical rate, critical attack via the Transcendent skill, and then via skill 1 and skill 2. But this problem with Easy 8, it was specifically buffing bombardment units. So bombardment unit in some form of way was kind of doing better when Easy 8 was like at its most prevalent state in a way, so this one unit was pretty strong. For global, unfortunately, we never got to experience like the full peak of how strong Easy 8 is, and buffing like as Gundam or Xeon or just any other bombardment unit out there, we never have the chance for that, because in terms of the critical damage rework for global hasn't happened yet. So I think we're still finger crossed. We hope that does happen. And I kind of want to do like a damage not really like a damage comparison. How fast can we finish a co-op comparison in a way? So I think you guys should be seeing kind of like the base number that we're setting, and then what we use for Easy 8. Unfortunately, I would say I was not able to use Easy 8 to complete one of the harder co-ops, which is fighting a 2 billion HP full armor unicorn. I keep dying towards the very end. I tried everything to set like a base number, couldn't get it, and I could not finish the co-op with Easy 8 just as it is. No Transcendent skill could not do that. So it kind of means that Easy 8 definitely has passed its prime. As far as for global or for JP wise, we don't really use that like that anymore. So we have that. The next one, I want to talk about the Engage Zero. So this one is the Awakening version, I believe. Yeah, or no. This is just the one with the funnels in the back. So this one is a pretty nice buffer to have for global. It's not, and then for JP now it obviously has H, but global having this one is actually pretty good as well, because you just have some general buffing, and then for new type machine they get extra buffing. So I think for global, having this one is actually a nice addition, because at the moment there's still a lot to be released. New type units specifically, not so just the new type machine. So having this unit can actually be fairly beneficial. You guys can definitely see like the numbers actually, it definitely cranks up. So these two are just right out the bat, you get them instantly, so that's actually pretty good. And with the Transcendent skill, I believe you don't get extra. So even this unit, you don't need Transcendent skill. So definitely pretty perfect for your free-to-play players. But when I did my testing at a lower HP co-op, I mean, like, the number, I guess, whatever I did on there, it was not as impressive as I was thinking. I don't know why. It should work in theory. Like just having this one, the extra 14% right at the bat, and then another one right here. I mean, it should be good, right? But I don't know, it just didn't turn out as good as I wanted to. But this is still a pretty decent support if you guys don't have anything, right? The other one to talk about, we have this guy right here. I think Sharzagoo will continue to be one of the decent support out there, just because of the fact that this unit outright gives 28% damage taken to Gundam to enemy. And given the fact that the name of this game is Gundam UC, or not Gundam, UC Engage, but what are the most prevalent unit? Gundam type units. So any event that has Gundam type enemies, co-ops that has Gundam type enemies, or even those clan battles or whatever, any content that has Gundam type units out there, this guy's always going to be a good options on there. And the fact that even within the EX skill effects, you also do get an extra 22%, but I think it's up to 32% when you have this unit fully maxed out. So I mean, you are getting a lot of support out of it, so definitely pretty good if you ask me. And same thing, I did kind of like the damage comparison. I don't think it was that good, but I mean, it was something that I did yesterday, so I don't remember the number. You guys will definitely see on the screen, but this unit is pretty good even right now for global. Definitely one of the better ones to use. This guy, not gonna talk about this guy. I know we just got this last week. This one is more for the armor units and whatnot. So the next one that we should be set to get is actually going to be this one. I think for global, having a narrative B pack will be a pretty sizable buff in a way, because of the fact that this unit is actually buffing the damage cap. So right now we're talking about 120k to both generic and snipers, and all allies are getting just shooting damage up. So most of the quote-unquote decently good units right now are doing range damage, so the shooting damage. So this one is actually a perfect unit to use. But unfortunately, things that are like, you know, purple Sasabi, Titania, or whatever out there currently are good melee centric unit for global aren't going to get the benefit. Very unfortunate. But with the Transcendent skill, we actually do get extra buff as well. So shooting damage for both snipers and generic, and that is actually pretty strong. Definitely pretty good. So I think you don't even need to have the Transcendent skill at level 5. So you only need to get it to level 3 to get the full effects. Alright, and if you do want the extra 10%, you can push it further by dropping another, what, another 18k? No, just 1,800 or 1,200, because 2,250 is the max that you need to max this out. So you should be talking about another, what is it? I can't do math right now. I'm sorry, y'all. Can't do quick math, but you definitely need like another 100 something or 1,000 something. But yeah, you guys can see you are getting 15% right at the bat, so you don't even need to push it all the way to T5. So that's kind of like what I want to say. But yeah, this one should be pretty good, but unfortunately this is pretty limited to only snipers and generic. But then again, generic unit does kind of runs the game in a way. They're just by far the has the most roster as far as unit out there, so this one should be really good to have once we do get it. I would definitely encourage people to pull on this one. The overall gimmick for this unit, as far as the skill and skill 2, it actually boosts the accuracy. So if you do find your unit just kind of whipping your shots, not really connecting, or not dealing good damage, well, this unit could definitely help out. Extra 28%, and then to all allies, an extra 14%. So for snipers and generic, they get a little bit more, so pretty good. And the other one, or the last one, we have this one. So the Quibbly Mark II, I think this is Pluto's, or just Plu's version of the Quibbly Mark II. This one is by far one of the most decisive support out there. It pretty much is a on-crack version of Easy 8. It pretty much buffs critical attack, critical rate, but at a better standpoint. EX skill wise, it already does that. 17% critical rate and 34% critical attack at EX skill level 1. And I think EX, or if you do have this at EX skill level 5, they should be cranking up to 25% respectively to a 50% for the critical attack. So making it a just all around very, very powerful support. And with the Transcendent skill, it's going to be on demand. You're getting an extra 25% accuracy, or sorry, critical rate, and then an extra 36% critical attack. So in total, you are getting up to 86% critical attacks while you're getting up to 50. So definitely pretty strong. So this may be a support type unit that I am, I guess, imploring a lot of you guys to save for, because this is going to be game changing for the longest. Any content after this unit comes out, if you don't have this unit, I'm sorry, you guys is just not going to be doing any hot damage to take down whatever the boss is. So like the climb battle, you're not gonna have enough damage or whatever. If you don't have this unit, you're kind of cooked. All right, that's probably like the only thing I would say. All right, so yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. So I mean, this is like the last one that we got. So I do expect maybe sometime soon we should be getting like another pure just big damage support type unit, or maybe they'll toss in some other utility based support type unit. Who knows? This one was a exceptional one. It buffs differently. It needs allies this unit needs allies to have certain effects like stealth status. Not a lot of unit has it even today. So in order to gain advantage of this unit support, it's gonna be very hard to do. So that's that. But other than that, that is pretty much it in terms of kind of like the evolution of all the support type unit in UC Engage. But other than that, that's gonna be pretty much it for me, and I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.